Is it too late? Is it too late to save your marriage or your serious relationship after the cheating? I want to talk about why it may not be too late to save your marriage or your relationship after there's been cheating. Whether you were cheated on or you're the one who cheated, it's an absolutely fair question because the overwhelm, the tsunami effect that takes place emotionally is a whole lot to bear. And it can seem like there's no way possible to actually recover your relationship and going to have a great relationship. So, in this video, we're going to talk about whether it's too late. And really, we want to get into what does it take in order to recover the relationship? Because I happen to be one of those optimistic people. I'm a person of faith. I believe that anything is possible with God and that you can absolutely save the relationship, but only if you do some very important things. I'm Rod Harrison. I am a marriage coach and I'm a relationships expert. I spend my days and hours thinking about, dreaming about how it can help people have amazing marriages and relationships. This is my obsession. It's about how do I help people. And so I would love to support you, encourage you on this channel by giving you insights that will help you fly and flourish in your relationship. I happen to work with people who perform at very high levels in their professional lives, in sports, in business, and in entertainment to reduce the stress in their relationship, to really improve their connection, and to increase their performance in their field, their chosen field. So you're in the right place. I'm glad you're here. I want to get into this topic today because I think it's a very important one. When we ask the question, I cheated, is it too late? Or maybe you were cheated on. Same question. Is it too late? Is it even worth trying to save your marriage or your relationship if you're, again, in a serious relationship? There's some things that you want to be very clear about because you don't want to just jump in willy nilly too soon, the wrong way, and try to fix something that you're not able to fix. Or just brush it under the rug and keep going and let's cross our fingers and hope for the best and let's just have a great future. And maybe you've got children involved and the stakes are that much higher, so you want to know, is it too late? Do I need to cut the cord and move on? Do we just cut our losses and keep going? Well, slow your roll. Let's talk a little bit about what's got to happen if you're going to save your relationship. So I'm going to give you a book full in this video today, and I want you to take some notes. I want you to pay attention because if you do this the right way, you can actually save your relationship. In fact, you can have an even more amazing relationship or marriage. So let me just share with you. I have a dear friend who many years ago reached out to me. He had cheated on his wife, and he was a respected person in his field in medicine. He was respected in his church. He was deeply respected by his children and by the community. I had deep respect for him. I still got deep respect for him because he did some very important things when he got caught. And so he began to take some serious steps. And literally, for the next 25 or 30 years, he and his wife built the most amazing marriage. And then she went home to be with Jesus. I don't know about you, but I kind of like happy endings. You know what I'm saying? When things work out. So let's talk about what needs to happen because it is possible to recover the marriage. It's possible if the right approach is taken. It's a short run if people want to trip out, flip out, dip out, not handle their responsibility. So the first thing we got to be clear about is that the onus of work and leading is on the person who cheated. If you are the person who cheated and you just want to be forgiven and listen, we just going to keep it moving. I made a mistake. Let's not talk about it. Let's not bring this up anymore. No. Now, here's the complicated truth. You can actually keep your marriage or relationship for many years to come. You just can't go deep. You'll never be closely connected. I've watched people do it. There was cheating. They never sorted through it. They never worked through it. They never got down to the real root of the pain, the problem, the causes, right? The whys behind it. And so they just kept going. And 20, 30 years later, they still together, but they ain't got nothing. It's surface. It's on the surface. There's no real depth. There's no deep connection. They live in the same house, they eat dinner the same time, but really they kind of live in two worlds. I'm just saying, like, if you want to do that, cool, that's your thing. But I wouldn't choose that, right? Because there's so much more that you can have if you go about this in the right way. And so, firstly, the person who cheats has to take full ownership. Listen, not just for what they did, but for who they were that led to them doing what they did. Did I say that too fast? You got to take ownership for who you were that led you to do what you did. Because the truth is, there's some things in the background of your life that were strong contributing factors, not causes. Because there's no excuse. There's no like I did it because what had happened was. No, I don't nobody want to hear that, right? You shouldn't even want to hear that, right? But let me get down to what's really been going on in my life. And this is part of my first point to you today is that the cheater has to be honest. Now, everybody's got to be honest. Even if you were cheated on, you got to learn how to be honest, emotionally honest about what the impact was, about what was going on in your marriage before, if you saw signs, right? You got to learn how to be honest. The person who cheats has got to be honest about who they are, who they were. Watch this now, and what contributed to me becoming who I became in order to do what I did. Because before you do what you do, you were being somebody. Did I go too fast on that? You got to be honest about who you became. Maybe you became a liar. Maybe you were self-deceived, like, oh, I can handle this, it's not going to be that bad. Maybe you had some childhood trauma, some abuse, some neglect that contributed, but you've never talked about it. You've never dealt with it. You've never sought any sort of support for that to help you understand how it impacted your life. The first thing you got to do is get real honest. I had a guy that I worked with many years ago. He was an outstanding athlete, uh, had a great career in the NFL. And we were trying to figure out, he and I, we were having honest conversations like, bro, why do you keep dipping on your wife? Like, what's this all about? Because she's about to leave you and she's going to take the kids and go. And I think I was the first person he ever revealed the truth to. He was honest for the first time probably in his life. He kind of finally got down to it that he had been sexually abused as a child. And that was a revelation and a bombshell. And that opened up the door for him and his wife to begin to have some healthy conversations. You understand? So there's got to be some what I call brutal honesty, not brutal honesty about the other person, not brutal honesty about, oh, my partner was this and was that. I'm talking about your cheating partner, not your spouse, right? Or your significant other. I'm talking about the cheating partner, right? Because sometimes, well, I'm gonna just be honest with you and tell you what you didn't bring to the table. No, you don't get to blame nobody. You don't get to blame anybody. You don't get to hold up and esteem your affair partner as if somehow they were more honorable than your spouse or your significant other who trusted you. Right? We're not talking about that kind of honesty. We're talking about looking inside, getting honest within me. because the enemy, as we say, is often enemy in me, what was going on inside of me. And let me tell you, when you get honest, that's when you can get free. If you can't get honest, you can't get free. So that's the first step. You got to be honest. Secondly, you got to choose to be transparent, which is a little bit different than just being honest because transparency means that I don't keep any secrets anymore. Because the very nature of infidelity is that you keeping secrets. Yeah, you hiding receipts. You got a second phone. You got addresses in your address book that you got a different name on it, but you know who it is. You talking about you're working, but you're not really working because you're somewhere else. Yeah, that's not transparency. That's called hiding. And the nature of being unfaithful or practicing infidelity without fidelity, without truthfulness, is that there is deception and hiding. And until you can be transparent, listen, you can't help the person you cheated on to heal if you're not transparent. Because I work with a lot of people. I've been working on this issue of cheating and infidelity for a long time, and there have been times when people just say, "Hey, you can have my phone, you can check my emails, you can listen. We can shut down my Twitter, shut down my IG. You can have full access to my Facebook." Right? That's transparency. You can know where I'm going, when I'm going. I tell you when I'm going to be back, and I get back. We'll talk about that in a moment. But there's got to be transparency. The moment the person who cheated starts saying stuff like, "I'm a grown man," or "I'm a grown woman. I don't have to tell you where I'm going. No, you don't need to be going through my phone." You're tripping because you're not trying to be transparent. You can't preserve relationship without transparency because the very nature of healthy, thriving, trust-filled relationship is that there's no hiding. And the enemy will keep you bound in shame so that you keep hiding or you keep dipping and trying to hold on to maybe your double life and you don't want to be transparent. So you got to be transparent. The person who cheated has to lead with transparency. They have to promise it and deliver on it, which brings me to another word, which is integrity. There must be integrity. Simple integrity is I said I was going to do it and I do it. I said I'd be home at 5 o'clock, get home at 4:45. Help me talk somebody, right? Integrity builds trust because when you are a person of integrity, you are whole. That means it's not your word out there, but then your delivery is somewhere else, if at all. Integrity is being one with what you say. It is being consistent with who you say you're going to be. And so integrity is crucial if you're going to recover your marriage or relationship. Uh, As you can see, this all gets down to character development, personal growth. And when I'm working with couples, helping them to recover from infidelity, we want to get down to the being, who the person who actually both people have been, who they were being, so that they can be somebody better than they were, so that they can have something better than they had. So there's got to be integrity. So is it honesty, transparency, integrity? Can I give you one or two others? There's got to be a sense of safety, emotional safety. We could spend maybe I'll do an entire video on this if you like. Let me know down in the comments, and we'll talk about safety. Before we get to the subject of safety, let me tell you about a free resource that I think can really help you if you or somebody you know has suffered from being cheated on. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today right here on my channel. I'm glad you stopped by. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to add some value to your life, to encourage you, to give you some insights that will be helpful to you. And I want to share with you a gift. This is a tool, a resource. It's really a guide that I created called The First 5 Steps. This is my guide to help anyone who has suffered the atrocious, traumatic pain of being cheated on. It's what I call the tsunami effect. This is what happens when somebody you trusted has been unfaithful. So once you download the guide, you can just click on the link in the description. I'll give you the first 5 steps. This is what to do now that you've discovered that there's been cheating. And so, whether it's you or someone that you know, you should grab this guide for them, send it to them so that they can get clear about what they should do right now. Because oftentimes the overwhelm and the anxiety and all of those things start to kick in, and it's difficult to make decisions. And oftentimes, people make decisions that they regret. And I don't want you or anyone that you know to be living with regret after you discovered that there was cheating. So, grab the guide, it's free to you. It's what I call the first 5 steps, right? What to do once you've discovered cheating or infidelity. All right, hey, let's get right back to the video. All right, so we're back. Let's continue talking about what's got to happen if you're going to save this marriage or this very important relationship. We said there's got to be some transparency, there's got to be honesty, there's got to be integrity. We started talking about safety. What does that mean? Like emotional safety. Here's what the essence of it is. A person can feel safe if they can emote safely. Like the person who was cheated on is feeling a lot. They're going through a lot. They have had their world upended. Their whole world has been rocked. They don't know what to trust. Their anxiety is high and it can be triggered or it can actually stay high for weeks and months on end, and it is exhausting, and they got questions and they want to know why, and was I not enough, and who were you with, and where did you meet, and how often did it happen, and what kind of things did y'all do, and what was the other person better than me? Let me tell you something. I work with people, and the anxiety and the paranoia are extraordinary. And then I hear people who cheated say silly, crazy, ridiculous, stupid stuff like, "Can you just get over it? Can you stop bringing this up? Why I thought you said you forgive me." Like, come on, really? Like, if you've been through what they've been through, you would want to know what they want to know. If you're going to make it safe for them emotionally, you got to learn how to stop being so defensive and stop acting like this didn't almost destroy them. Emotional safety is when you can say, your question makes sense. I don't know how to respond to that right now, but I don't want to ignore you, and I don't want to dismiss how this makes you feel. Come on, this is some grown people stuff right here, right? This is where you get to the place where you begin to grow because you care as much more about the other person than you care about you. And so you want to create a safe zone emotionally for the other person that says, hey, what you're feeling matters to me. I won't dismiss you. I will affirm what you're feeling, that you have a right to feel what you're feeling. I don't even understand why you feel it, but I respect that you do. And I will do my best to answer your questions and to be here for you because I want to help you recover. I want us to recover, and I'm responsible. It's not even about apologizing all the time. Because I have a lot of clients go like, "Hey, I apologize," and I keep apologizing, and I'm every time I turn around, I'm apologizing. Well, it's not, apologizing is necessary, but it's about putting something on it. It's about apologizing and then trying to make it right. And part of the way we make it right is we say simply, "Hey, I want to make this safe for you. I'm the one who put you through this. I'm the one who put you in this predicament. I'm the one who put you in a place where your self-esteem has been shattered. Your sense of identity has been nearly destroyed. So I want to make it safe for you." Is that helpful? Is that making sense? I hope so. Let's talk about this last piece, which I think is really, really important. We talked about integrity and we talk about safety, can we talk about tenacity? That's a good word, right? The person who cheated has to be tenacious. They got to be committed. Like if you're the cheater and you want to save your marriage or save your relationship, you got to decide that I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to get the coaching. I'm going to learn to stick with this process to help my spouse heal. I'm going to do whatever it takes. That's what tenacity is, right? I will take the blows, the anger, the rage, the cussing, yeah, because all of that's coming. You already know, right? The tenacious person says, I accept that this is a part of the process, but I'm going to continue to deliver on these matters of honesty and transparency and integrity and safety. And I will not give up on this process with God as my help. Because you're going to need all of God. Let me tell you, home boy, home girl, I don't know who you are. You're going to need all of it. And so you have to be tenacious with the process. Stick to it. There are going to be some rough days. There are going to be some dark days. And be tenacious enough to get the resources, right? I offer groups to help people get through it. I offer private coaching to help people get through this. There's some great book resources, but I think personal work is the most effective. But you got to be tenacious. Do not give up on the process, whatever you do. So, can you recover your marriage? Yes. Yeah, you can. Is it too late? It's not too late. I've seen people go for years where there were multiple affairs and it looked like the marriage, the relationship, the marriage in particular, this is more the scenario, was able to recover and return because they got down to the nitty gritty, these things that I'm talking about right here. They started putting these things into play. And now they're experiencing the bliss of a relationship that is recovered, not without its difficult days, but so much better than it was before. Hey, I'm glad you were here.